Hi, I'm Destiny. That's Jack. This is Kevin. And we're up here talking about what do you do if you're trying to get validation from those around you, those closest to you, and you just don't seem to get it.
I like to realize where validation doesn't and can't come from. People who don't feel worthy don't show validation, and people who are self-absorbed don't show validation. So if I kept going back to people who I know don't have it to give, hoping that maybe they'll grow it, well, that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, everybody wants validation. Rejection is one of the hardest things to take if you're a human being. It's tough. And when you're looking for that and you don't get it, sometimes you can put that back on yourself and start getting, insecure. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe that's the reason I'm not getting the validation, because I'm not good enough, or I'm not the person that they want me to be, or whatever. And so you got to be careful not to beat yourself up because you're not getting validated. Now, it's a real thing and you have to work through that, but the last thing you want to do is make it your fault. Now, there are things we have to foster sometimes validation. If we're a butt monkey to somebody, they're probably not going to validate us too much, right? So we have to be really careful about that. But if we can look at ourselves and say, hey, I'm doing everything right here, I have not harmed or wronged this person, I'm not getting validation, at that point you still can't look at yourself and say, oh, I'm terrible and now I'm gonna suck.
If I never ever give validation, I can't really expect to get validation very often. It's just not going to happen. But your value doesn't come from what they do or don't say to you. If they don't have it to give, they're not going to. Who are you looking at? And maybe you need to open up your circle of people close to you so that you can receive validation for the things that you do that are worthy of that.
Sometimes people are the gatekeepers for validation, and sometimes they've been given validation or being shown validation in various ways, and they're rejecting it for whatever reason. If I tell people, as it pertains to like love languages, if I was the best therapist in the world and I spoke exclusively some language that you don't, you would never understand what I was saying. And so, but you'd be able to tell that I was trying to tell you something. Are you paying attention for that? Are they trying to validate, but you're not getting it? Are you rejecting it? Does it feel wrong? Because sometimes that's on our side. Our receiver's broken.
Yeah, that happens where somebody might even have that kind of pre-existing insecurity where they'll say in their mind, I don't deserve the validation. They might not even realize that they're saying that on an unconscious level, but that might be the issue, right? Is that they don't feel like they deserve it, and so they push it away and deny the validation that's coming. So you really got to look at that and make sure that's not happening as well.
Well, and a super easy test to see if you're doing that, how do you respond when you get a compliment? Do I accept it and say thank you, or am I like, no, that's not true. You look really nice today.
No.
Oh, I look terrible.
If you're a person who doesn't feel like they're ever validated, it does tell us that there is something inside of you, a need that is there that's either not being met or not being received. And if that's something you want to work to resolve, don't go through your whole life not feeling validated, accepted, that kind of stuff. That sounds just terrible.
Yeah.
We can help.